film commences with a group of U.S. Navy SEALs emerging and eliminating insurgents. They embark on a pursuit, navigating through the wreckage of a building and the streets of Aleppo. Upon securing the premises, Agent Ritter makes an appearance and directs them to rescue a CIA captive held by Syrian government troops. After a brief briefing from the agent, team leader John Kelly relocates his unit to a different section of the city. They launch an assault on a suspected structure, successfully freeing the prisoners. Upon completing the mission, John Kelly searches the belongings of a deceased Syrian soldier and uncovers from his phone data that the soldier was formerly part of the Russian army. Agent Ritter advises Kelly to abandon this investigation and move quickly. A Russian unit fires an RPG at them during their departure. Kelly and his team initiate a counterattack. They soon realize that the area isn't a refuge for Syrian forces, but rather a Russian arms depot. In the midst of a fierce battle, they, along with the liberated hostage, make their way to the rooftop where a helicopter awaits. Inside the chopper, Kelly holds Ritter accountable for his team members' deaths at the hands of the Russians. They are on the brink of demolishing the building and making their escape. Subsequently, a member of Kelly's team, who had recently retired from the military and was enjoying family time at home, gets struck by a van right outside his residence. After some time, another retired team member falls victim to an assassination on the road, perpetrated by unidentified assailants. These individuals were part of the forces that participated in the liberation of the CIA hostage in Aleppo 3 years prior. While preparing to retire for the night, Kelly and his wife start getting ready for bed in their bedroom. Kelly, however, chooses to move to the sofa to snack and listen to music. In due course, his laptop shuts down unexpectedly. He becomes aware of a power outage in his house. Footsteps draw near, and a door opens, prompting him to retrieve his revolver from a drawer and follow the source of the sounds. Upon investigating, he discovers a group of intruders who have forcibly entered his home. Tragically, they fatally harm his pregnant wife, but Kelly systematically eliminates each one of them. Just as he is poised to eliminate the last intruder, he sustains a gunshot wound. Kelly manages to crawl back to his bedroom, only to find his wife has succumbed to her injuries. He is rushed to the hospital for medical treatment. After a period of unconsciousness, he eventually regains consciousness. Captain Karen Greer, his Navy SEAL superior, pays him a visit and delivers the grim news of his wife's and 2 former SEAL comrades' murders. She also apprises him of the security measures being taken for the remaining SEAL team members. Kelly shares with her that the individuals who attacked his home were not ordinary burglars but rather skilled professionals who had a deliberate purpose in mind. He implores her to assist him by revealing the identities of the attackers, yet she claims to be unaware. She advises him to rest as the investigation into the case is ongoing. Kelly makes a complete recovery and becomes part of a U.S. Army Special Forces unit. Meanwhile, the Secretary of Defense arranges a meeting involving Agents Ritter and Greer. During the conversation, Agent Ritter discloses that the assailants are of Russian origin. He asserts that they are Russian soldiers affiliated with the Russian Federation's FSB, the Federal Security Force. He informs the secretary that a few years earlier, Kelly and his team had targeted the FSB in Aleppo to free the CIA hostage, which has led to these retaliatory actions by the Russians. Furthermore, he reveals that the CIA has chosen not to retaliate against these incidents. He concludes that it's best to avoid any confrontation with the attackers or Russia and to continue investigating the situation. After a certain period of time, Karen returns to Kelly and reveals that the Russians are indeed responsible for the deaths of his wife and comrades. She also conveys that the CIA intends to cease its investigation. As a gesture of goodwill, she provides him with files containing information about the passport facilitators connected to the Russians in the United States. Among them, Andre is identified as the individual who facilitated their entry into the United States. With all the pertinent information at his disposal, the protagonist immediately springs into action with the goal of avenging his wife and friends. Subsequently, Kelly adopts the guise of inebriation and heads to Andre's office on foot. However, he is intercepted by Andre's security and is turned away. Undeterred, he eventually returns to his pickup truck and makes the decision to pursue them using his own vehicle. On the highway, he pursues Andre's vehicle and collides with it during a turn. He strategically blocks Andre's car, rendering his escape impossible. He ignites a fire in Andre's car and gains access to it. With a gun in hand, he coerces Andre by inflicting a gunshot wound to his leg, compelling him to disclose the identity of the 4th Russian operative within the group. After a strenuous struggle, Andre finally divulges the name Viktor Rykov. Subsequently, the protagonist exits the vehicle but is apprehended by law enforcement. Karen pays a visit to Kelly in jail, conveying the gravity of his situation due to the act of killing Andre. His actions have upset everyone in the organization as they fear potential Russian Russian retaliation. In spite of this, Kelly asserts his intention to eliminate all those involved in his wife's murder. Furthermore, he cryptically hints that he possesses undisclosed information, which he is willing to share if they secure his release from prison. Back in his cell, Kelly notices movement outside. An officer instructs him to face the wall for further questioning outside the prison, but he adamantly refuses. 3 officers attempt to forcibly remove him, prompting Kelly to resist and even threaten one of the officers. He commands them to vacate the prison premises. Soon thereafter, a U.S. Marshal arrives at the jail and extends an invitation to Kelly. Provided with a phone, he initiates a conversation. Karen communicates with him, expressing her desire to accompany the Marshal. The protagonist joins them for a confidential meeting at an undisclosed military facility. He is prompted to share the classified information he possesses, and thus he reveals the name Victor Rykov. He is then asked to identify photographs resembling Victor. However, Agent Ritter interjects with the news of Rykov's demise. Nevertheless, Kelly recognizes Rykov in the photographs. Subsequently, Ritter imparts to them the information that Victor operates as a Russian spy, actively involved in diverse undertakings within the United States. He adds that Victor had long been a prime target of the CIA, but their attempts at apprehension had proved futile. The secretary then discloses that Victor is presently in hiding within Russia. In response, Kelly insists on being part of the team assigned to capture him, a proposal to which the secretary accedes. Following this decision, Lieutenant Commander Karen, Kelly, and his team make preparations to board a passenger aircraft destined for Russia. Upon their preparations, Agent Ritter makes an appearance and declares his intention to rendezvous with them in Moscow. Suspicion shrouds Kelly's perception of Ritter, leading him to adopt a more vigilant stance. Consequently, Karen and Kelly embark on their journey to Russia by plane. However, as they approach Russian Federation airspace, their flight is abruptly intercepted by the Russian Air Force. Russian authorities instruct them to land immediately at Murmansk Airport. When the pilot resists, the Russian forces resort to attacking the aircraft's wing. The ensuing result is a crash into the Barents Sea, resulting in their landing on Russian territory. In the aftermath of the crash, Kelly and the remaining team members strive to escape the water. Finding refuge in a Russian safe house, they manage to sustain themselves aboard a boat. After a period of time, they proceed to another safe house in Murmansk, where Ritter is seen engrossed in discussions with 2 Russians, with money laid out on the table. Kelly accuses Ritter of betrayal and compels him to unveil his true intentions. Ritter confesses that he arrived subsequent to the plane assault, under the assumption of their demise, and is now committed to accomplishing the mission of capturing Victor. He further reveals his collaboration with the 2 Russians to guide them to Victor's location. As Kelly's grip tightens, and vengeance is poised to be taken, Karen intervenes, imploring him to maintain his composure. Summoning his restraint, the protagonist ultimately chooses to spare Ritter's life. Guided by Ritter, the group then proceeds to Victor's residence. Upon their arrival, Kelly discovers Victor's bodyguards already deceased. Notably, Victor, attired in an explosive-laden vest, awaits their presence. In a chilling encounter, Victor addresses Kelly, revealing his prior knowledge of the protagonist's mission to Russia to eliminate him. Victor asserts his non-involvement in the plot to kill Kelly and his pregnant wife. Kelly remains attentive as Victor asserts that they both find themselves in a shared predicament, led to this point by someone with the intent of orchestrating their mutual demise. Attempting to interject, Kelly implores Victor to hear him out, yet Victor activates a button, triggering an explosion that claims his own life. In the aftermath, a sniper targets Dallas, a member of Kelly's squad, in the chaos following the explosion. Despite initial challenges in locating the sniper's position, they eventually devise a strategy to neutralize him. However, a fresh sniper soon initiates a barrage of gunfire against them. Karen and Kelly relentlessly track down these assailants, successfully eliminating them through decisive action. Meanwhile, Russian law enforcement and military forces converge on the residential complex, tightening their grip. Kelly strategically directs his team to exit through the building's rear while he confronts the pursuing authorities from the rooftop. Utilizing an explosive device, he inflicts significant casualties upon the approaching police officers, providing his team an opportunity to escape in a van. Engaging adversaries on the stairwell, he valiantly combats military personnel attempting to apprehend him. Eventually, the protagonist himself manages to slip away, camouflaged as a Russian soldier sporting a tear gas mask. Arriving at prearranged coordinates using a Russian vehicle, Kelly is greeted by Karen, who transports him to a waiting boat. Together with his remaining team members, Karen and Ritter, they swiftly exit Russia. During their voyage, Kelly presses Agent Ritter for details about Victor and his association with the CIA. Ritter sheds light on his career trajectory, providing insight into his role. Furthermore, Ritter instructs Kelly to carry a bag of money on the boat, vanishing to an undisclosed location while being officially declared deceased as part of the operation's cover-up. Expressing gratitude, Kelly extends an apology for his previous misjudgment of Ritter as a turncoat. Subsequently, in a restaurant restroom, Kelly confronts Secretary Clay, revealing his awareness of the true motives behind his assignment to Russia, alluding to Victor's manipulation as a pawn. In the face of Kelly's coercive tactics, Secretary Clay is compelled to divulge the underlying reasons for the task assigned to him. Clay suggests that curbing U.S.-Russian interactions can bolster the economy, leading to a climate conducive to fostering a united American front against Russia, ultimately fostering a sense of unity. Clay discloses that he and his cohorts served as mere bait, luring them to a designated location with the intention of orchestrating a lethal showdown between them, thus deflecting suspicion from the governments of both nations. Amidst their dialogue, Kelly drives the vehicle into a river, drowning both himself and Secretary Clay. Rescued by Karen from the water, Kelly entrusts her with a recorded device containing incriminating confessions from Clay and herself. In a final gesture, Karen drops Kelly at an airport and provides him with a new passport. In parting, she implores him to embark on a fresh start under a new identity, while assuring him she won't be forgotten. The narrative concludes with Kelly leaving, signifying the end of this tale.